Yeah, dog. What is up, guys? Back at it again with another video talking about Samson Dauda. Made an announcement that he's competing next week at the Prague Pro, which for one is actually really cool because obviously the more people jumping into the show, the more competitive it is, the better the show is going to be. We already have Keon, we have Michael Krijo, we have Martin Fitzwaters in that show. I'm not sure who's else. I mean, the bigger names we already know about, but now we have Samson Dauda, former Mr. Olympia, came fourth at the Olympia this year, former Arnold Classic champion. Like, it's a pretty big name. It's a pretty big name in there. So I think before, people were looking at this as this is Keon's show to lose. No disrespect to Michael Krijo, no disrespect to Martin Fitzwater, but I mean, Keon is said to be the best physique in the planet. Like, his height is an issue, but in terms of muscle bellies and structure and just having everything develop, Keon is that guy. So on paper, with that understanding, should be Keon should have lose, but now we have Samson in there. So it's a little different. So let's talk about a couple things first. So number one, yes, it's really cool. Very happy to see the competitive spirit of these bodybuilders who are at the top level who are competing, because if we just have if we have all these shows filled with guys outside the top 10, then like these Sauce Haratis and I mean, who else? I mean, Tony Burton's pretty cool. I mean, he's top 8. You don't even remember the top 10 guys, honestly. Like Sauce, I guess Regan is fine. Who else? I mean, James Hollingshead, Akeem Williams, like these guys are not top 10 Olympians. I mean, in the past, they might have held a top 10 spot, but they're not top 10 now. Anyways, shows are better when you have the top guys, top 10, top 6, top 4, the Mr. Olympia himself jumping into these other shows where obviously he doesn't have to compete. He doesn't have to qualify. But here he is. So it's really cool to see. Now, number two, though, it's like, why though? Why would you do this? So he's either doing this to prove a point, the point being that the Olympia was a fluke and he is better than he presented. And he's going to showcase his wife being maybe like a better representation or someone that can prep a bit better or someone that knows what she's doing. He made a post. He made a post about the Prague Pro. He made a post about specifically competing and whatever, but he did highlight his wife a lot in that post, saying that Mel doesn't get enough credit. She's the one that has like gotten him to this point and just kind of, glazing her, like a lot of glazing. And I think that's fine. Now, I know there's a lot of like, I guess, controversy going on with Samson and his wife and her being like this prep coach and him wanting her to get all the accolades of being this incredible prep coach. He won the Olympia last year with her prepping him, and then he came second at the Arnold. And yeah, I'm sure she has some kind of knowledge about Samson's body and some kind of understanding about food and nutrition and maybe a bit of gear. I know she's competed in the past. It's been a long time, but she has a bit of a competitive background. But he's really pushing for her to kind of be known as someone who is in the prep world. And although that's fine, I think Samson would benefit a lot from just having a high-level coach. No disrespect to the wife at all. Obviously, they have the formula they have, and it's worked in some cases, and in some cases, like last weekend, it didn't work. So I think for more consistency, like someone like a Milos, someone like maybe like a Hani Rambod. I mean, Hani doesn't even prep anymore. He's retired. Chris Aceto's out there. Kyle Wilkes with Nick Walker. He just kind of bombed at the Olympia. But anyway, someone that is of a higher level, that knows a bit more about gear and peaking guys and guys who are also like 300 pounds on stage. I mean, Samson's a big freaking dude. Samson last year on stage at the Olympia was like 295 or something. And then at the Arnold this year, he was like 305. Like, Samson is a big freaking guy. Samson went from like 295 last year at the Olympia, winning the Olympia, to this year being 280. 280. Like, what are you doing being 280, bro? Like, why would you drop so much weight? And like, this kind of the theory as to like why Samson's doing this, because For one, they kind of said about how it was a prep mistake, a peaking mistake. Bro, you lost muscle. You lost a ton of freaking muscle. That's 20 pounds of stage weight, bro. You were at the Arnold's at 305, dude. And you came to Olympia at 280. And honestly, like, probably the same conditioning. Like, Samson's conditioning was the same, if not a little worse. And I say worse because you might have achieved lower body fat, but the sacrifices of all that size and fullness, it didn't translate to looking like you were more in shape or more conditioned. You being bigger and fuller, he had a more conditioned look because there's more muscle there. The muscle is going to push more against the skin. Like, there's more fullness to the muscle. Like, there's more fullness to the physique. So although being at a bit higher body fat, perhaps, it looked more impressive. And he had way more lines and detail than what he showcased at the Olympia. So Samson was freaking 280. Now he's like freaking 295 a week later. So you're telling me this guy put on, what is that? 15 freaking pounds in a week? 15 pounds of muscle in a week? There is no way. There's no freaking way. I think he dieted down all that muscle, trying to chase high-level conditioning. Obviously, like, it didn't work because instead of getting super freaking peeled at 280 with the fullness, he was a smaller version of himself without the fullness in the same condition because he lost a lot of muscle. Now, a week later, I guess they want to prove that it was a fluke, that Samson is better. And we obviously know that Samson is way better than what he showcased at the Olympia. But to take such an extreme approach, like a week later, 15 pounds up, and I think he actually made another post saying that he's 300 pounds now. So like 20 pounds up in like a week. And I guess he's saying that, you know, it was a peaking mistake and whatever. Like, bro, you lost muscle, and I don't know how, like, there's no way you're putting on 20 pounds of muscle in a week. There's no way that you have that much glycogen to be stored from the lack of carbing up correctly. Like, there's no way. So I think Samson would benefit from just having like a more high-level seasoned coach. Not saying that his wife doesn't know anything, but Samson's a 300-pounder. A lot of people, like, how many people know how to deal with a guy who's 300 pounds on stage? Like, who knows how to peak that? A guy like Kyle Wilkes can't even peak Nick Walker correctly for a 2-day show. And Kyle has dealt with a lot of bodybuilders, maybe not on the Olympia level, but a lot of guys he has experience. And he still couldn't do with Nick Walker. Now, Nick Walker's not a 300-pounder, but he's like, he's in the 270s, so quite close. But I think they're just trying to prove that it was a fluke. I think so. I think that this is almost a redemption arc for them. When I say them, I mean Samson, his wife. He wants redemption. He wants to prove that he's a lot better than what he showcased at Olympia, which I get it, fair. But there's another point as well. So if you guys didn't realize, last year at the Olympia, Samson won over $500,000. It's a lot of money. Samson has he's been second at the Arnold, like the last 2 years. So he's racking up a little over 100K there, a little over 100K here. This year at the Olympia, he placed fourth, and he got 40 grand, $40,000. Going from over $500,000 and then like having back-to-back second places at the Arnold. And then the Arnold UK, he also came second to Hottie last year as well. Like, these incredible high placings where you're getting big, massive payouts to then come to Olympia and get 40 grand. Now, I'm not saying Samson is like competing for the purpose of money, but obviously, like, it must have been a blow not to win, to not get the big purse, to not, you know, be able to like fund a better lifestyle, because Samson has upgraded a lot in lifestyle. Like, he has supercars, he has his own gym, like bought a new house. And I'm not saying his only means of income is competing. I'm sure he might have investments, real estate. Like, I'm sure at this point, like, I really think this guy should be smart enough to invest and not just rely on prize money to make it in life. He has sponsors and stuff. He just got sponsored by Gymshark. I'm sure he's good. I'm sure he's solid. But I'm sure there's also an incentive for money. So redemption and money. I get it. Like, fair. I just think for the future, man, like, instead of trying to right your wrongs and prove that your wife is this big, high-level coach that can make it in bodybuilding, which I'm not saying that she can't. I'm just saying at the Olympia level, why would you leave stones unturned? Why would you leave any variable on the table? Why would you not try to get as much guarantees out of your prep and out of your potential results as possible by putting together a team that actually is quite versed and knowledgeable? Like I said, not talking bad about the wife at all. But he wants to give her a bunch of accolades when he probably had like the worst showing of all time. Like his Olympia showing fourth, he has 2021 looks that are better in my opinion. He has looks from 2022 that are better in my opinion. His debut physique at the Olympia was better than his fourth place at the Olympia this weekend, or last weekend, I should say. So like it wasn't a good look. He achieved all those looks with Milos. Last year for the Arnold, was he still with Milos? Like I know he cut Milos last year, so I'm not sure. But anyway, so a lot of his good looks were with Milos. Obviously, he won the Olympia without him, but he had like Merrick Health and all this other stuff and like whatever. So it can work. It definitely can. I'm not trying to bad talk the wife at all. I just think he would benefit a lot from having someone in his corner that's a bit more high level. That being said, it's going to be a great show. Keon versus Samson. Now, obviously, if Samson loses, that's going to be a pretty big deal because Keon over here being a 212 champion, Samson being the former Mr. Olympia, fourth in the world this year. If he comes into this show and loses to Keon, for one, that's a big benefit to Keon. I mean, Keon's stock just goes through the roof, like through the freaking roof. Samson, on the other hand, I mean, his career is done. Not literally done. He's still the fourth best in the world. He's still a former Mr. Olympia. Like, he's not finished. But if a 212 guy can just come in here and clean the floor with the fourth best bodybuilder in the world in 2025, and that guy being Samson Dauda, former Mr. Olympia, like, you really need to go back to the drawing board and reassess all of it. Like, all of it. Reassess the coach, reassess the approach, reassess everything. Reassess the prep. Maybe just take some time off. Like, I know you'd love to compete. Like, I know Samson is a competitor, and I love the fact that he is someone that competes. I said it before in the beginning of the video. I said these high-level guys, they make these shows more interesting. The fact that they compete more and more, they make it a lot more interesting. But at some point, you got to take a break. Samson has been going from show to show to show to show to show for years. He has never taken a year off. Like, I can't recall Samson taking a year off. Like, ever since his COVID prep, him doing like as many, like 4 or 5 shows in a year trying to qualify, did not qualify. And then like previous years, like competing and doing, even last year, doing both Arnolds and then the Tsunami Pro and then winning the Olympia. And then this year, again, doing the Arnold. Between the Arnold and Olympia was quite a good gap, but he hasn't really taken like a year off. And I think at some point you need that. You need that break. It could be a case where he's getting burnt out as well, and that's showing in his physique. Either way, it's going to be a good show. In terms of who's going to win, I don't know. I think Samson, if he preps and peaks correctly, because he's looking pretty good in the updates. His updates recently has been looking pretty good, although he's 300 plus pounds. I think his look from the side is quite improved. His look from the rear is also quite improved. But it's something about the front. Like, the front shots are just not doing it, man. Like, his quads from the front, his arms from the front, his chest, like, everything from the front just is still missing fullness. Like, I can recall updates of Samson's Olympia prep from last year. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, him from the front was nuts. Like, absolutely freaking nutty. But these updates, it just isn't it. Like, it doesn't hit the same. Like, his side shot's looking really good. His rear's looking really good. Like, if he can hold his glutes from the side, like he does when he flexes them, that's a great physique. That's a great side shot. But the front, man, like, I don't know what's going on there. He's still missing that pop. And it's because most likely he dieted away muscle. And you're not going to gain that back in a week or 2. It's going to take some time. It took you months to strip it off. It's going to take you a couple weeks to put it back on. Anyways, excited for the show. Excited for Samson versus Keon versus Martin versus Krijo. Martin could come in here and win the show as well. I mean, he wasn't far off from beating Samson. In fact, you could make a case for Martin placing fourth ahead of Samson. Like, Samson kind of got a gift. I can't lie. Anyways, guys, quick video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, comment down below. And if you're not subscribed, make it a thing. Sub to the boy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.